Hello, and welcome to another episode of Dear Diary, the self-love podcast. I am really excited about today's episode because I think that it's something that every single person listening could use at one point or another in their life, and that is how to declutter your mind. This is my go-to strategy for when life is getting the best of me and things are feeling out of control, and maybe I'm feeling ungrounded, and maybe there's a big decision I need to make, or I'm just like feeling mucky and funky and I can't quite pinpoint what it is. Maybe I'm struggling finding gratitude and I really want to sit with and marinate in gratitude. It doesn't always have to be when I'm in a season of low. Sometimes it can be a season of high too. But this is my go-to strategy. I call them brain dump sessions. And you hear brain dump, I'm sure you've heard of it before. It's a type of journaling. So for all you journal haters out there, keep listening, because this strategy of writing was what made me fall in love with journaling in the first place. So, why do I do this? I do this for the ability to free up some space inside of my mind, right? When your thoughts are just chaotic and they're jumbled and they're on loop and they're just going and going and going and they don't stop and you can't shut your mind off. You know what I'm talking about, right? This is an opportunity for you to get present with whatever's going on up there, get it out of your head and onto paper. It is such a powerful practice. I used to refer to it, and I've been doing this for years, I used to refer to it as manic writing. And the reason why I said that is because there is no rhyme or reason to it. Your grammar doesn't have to be perfect. Your sentence structures don't have to make sense. Your penmanship can be chicken scratch. Who cares? That's not the point. You're not writing a novel. You're not going to have this published. The sole purpose of this activity is to get out of your head and onto paper whatever chaos is going on inside of your head. This helps decrease stress, anxiety. It helps increase my self-awareness and gives me focus and clarity. And it takes 5 minutes, 10 minutes, literally. So this is what I do, and I wanted to share it with you. And if you hadn't noticed, I didn't have a podcast episode last week because I've been doing a lot of healing behind the scenes. I'm working with my somatic coach, I'm working with my life coach, I'm working with my therapist, I'm doing inner child work, I'm talking about defense mechanisms, I'm integrating all of these things, and it's a lot. So I was fearful of coming on here and just blah, 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 and sounding like blah, 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 really. So I wanted to just take a break and be with myself, right? And then this week came and I'm like, I still want to do that. And I'm like, no, this is really important to you. You need to figure out what it is that's stopping you from coming on here and showing up the way that you promised yourself you would. So what did I do? I had a brain dump session around what is stopping me from coming back here. I took a week off. Okay, great. But you know how that goes. 1 week can turn into 2 weeks, which can turn into 4 weeks, and so on and so forth. So as I'm doing my brain dump, I'm like, this is what we need to talk about. So here I am, right? This works. I got clear. I gained clarity. I had focus. I got out of my head. I decluttered all of my mucky thoughts. And here we are with some inspired action steps of doing something that's going to light me up. Which if I wouldn't have, and I would have taken another week off, I would have beat myself up. So this leads me into the steps, right? First step, get present. Get present. Get out of your head as much as you can and sort of tap into your body. You can do this by meditating, by doing some breath work, by having a gym session or a dance session, right? Just something to kind of like move some energy and get your wheels turning, your wheels grinding, right? Then get into a quiet space. Put your kids in front of a movie, go into the bathroom, lock the door, whatever you got to do, but really dedicate 5 to 10 minutes of time. This brings me to my next step. Set a timer. I personally don't like to set a timer. I like to just go until I feel complete. But setting a timer in the beginning is really good because it kind of stretches you. Whereas maybe after 2 minutes, you're like, okay, I'm done. This is stupid. Well, no, you've got 3 more minutes left on your timer. Keep going, right? So a timer is important to note. And it doesn't have to be long. 5 or 10 minutes, that's it. Next step, headphones. I think this is a really important step because when you're listening to music, and I like to listen to, I'll have a podcast, or not a podcast, I have a playlist on Spotify that I'm going to link in the show notes. This is what I listen to. I personally like to listen to music that does not have any song lyrics. That way I don't get distracted. But you could listen to classical music. You can listen to white noise or pink noise or brown noise or any of the noises. Just something like in the background. And the reason why I like headphones is because it's really like, it feels like the music is in my head, right? It kind of allows me to focus more on what's going on inside of there. And then write until you feel complete, right until that timer goes off. There's no right way to do this. There's no wrong way to do this. This is literally just tapping into what's going on, decluttering the mind, freeing up space. What are you feeling? What emotions are present? Where are you feeling stuck? What is going on in your body? Are you struggling with X, Y, and Z? Like, just write. Your brain will know what it wants to say. Trust me. And also, a tip to this is go fast, right? If you start to notice and catch yourself being slow about this process and like pausing a lot and really like, oh, I don't want to wait that. No. You're missing the point. Just write. Okay? And then when you're done, evaluate what you wrote, what you released out of your mind. Evaluate it. Look at it. See if there's any clarity or insight that you can come up with. What can you deal with right now? What needs to be ignored? What needs to be released? What is outside of your control? What do you need to let go of? Where do you need support? Like, just looking and getting curious about what came out. Maybe you just need to ask for help. Maybe you need to take action, which is what my brain dump session was about this morning. It was like, I don't know what to say. I've got so much stuff going on. I don't know what to say. Well, why don't you start here, right? So it got me out of my head and I gained clarity and focus about what was really going on. And here I thought it was that I needed to take a longer break. But in actuality, I wanted to show up in this messy way because this is the whole fucking point of this podcast. Duh. And I actually looked up, because I was curious, the definition of a brain dump session, according to the Webster Dictionary, is the act or instance of comprehensively and uncritically, keyword there, uncritically, don't criticize and judge the words that are coming out of your mind and onto paper, The act or instance of comprehensively and uncritically expressing or recording one's thoughts and ideas on a topic. You could take the topic part out of there because that's not so much important as it is just getting whatever it is out of your mind. But if you do have a specific topic that you're struggling with, maybe it's a relationship issue or a work issue or a project you're working on, like, yes, this can be so helpful for those things too. There's also, and I won't really get into this because it's a little too structured for me, but there's this thing called mind mapping, and you can Google it, and it's basically a out of head onto paper, more of a picture visual representation with bubbles and lines and drawings and different colors. So for those of you who are like super artsy and creative, this might be more your style, but it's the same idea. It's getting the ideas out of your head, putting them onto paper, and making sense of them. So do this anytime you need to. You can do this at the start of the day. You can do this after researching or learning about something new. You can do this when you have anxiety, which is when I tend to do it the most. When you need to make a big decision. I had also mentioned when you're struggling with feeling gratitude, or maybe you want to feel more gratitude. Brain dump about all of the ways that you are grateful. You would be surprised some of the things that you come up with. I've done some of these sessions in the past, and it's like, I'm grateful for all of my thriving plants. And it's like, what? Where did that come from? Right? So you're like finding things, you're digging up from the cobwebs of your brain, the things that you're grateful for. Just a clean sweep, a declutter of the mind. Bringing me present, reducing my anxiety. It also is, it's like a good release of the past as well. Because sometimes we have these thoughts that just linger on loop. And when you get them out onto paper, they're not in your head anymore, right? It helps with that sense of certainty and clarity around that. It also gets rid of some of your uncertainty if you're like wishy-washy about what's going on or about a certain topic. One of the other reasons why I love this the most, and I did a whole episode around self-awareness, it helps you improve that, right? Checking in with your mind and your body, seeing what's alive inside of you. This is a perfect way to do that. But instead of just thinking about it, you're actually writing it down so that you have some sort of point of reference to look at and to evaluate and to go back with and have some sort of plan moving forward, right? I mean, the whole point of sometimes it feels good just to write this and then just literally walk away. But if you're looking for clarity of some sort, if you're looking for something, right? You're feeling like, what is this thing inside of me? It doesn't feel good. That's when you want to reevaluate. But you don't have to. Write and go. It's going to improve your mood regardless. Just getting it out of your head and onto paper is going to help you improve your mood. I guarantee you. So, go grab that empty notebook that's been sitting on your desk for months and months, and you're like, I want to start a journal, but I don't want to journal. Make it a brain dump book, right? And just maybe at night before bed, keep it at your nightstand and just dump everything that happened all day long. The things that were grateful, the things that made you upset, the things that didn't feel good, the ways in which you needed to give yourself grace, your intentions for tomorrow, like whatever. But just get it out of your mind and onto paper. And that practice is so powerful. So that is it. This was a quickie but goodie. I hope that you found value in this. If you did, please share this, tag me, leave a review, save it, share it with a friend, whatever you feel like doing. Thank you for coming and listening. I can't wait to hear back from you guys, because I do receive a lot of messages about like, oh, I listened to your episode and it helped me do this, which I'm like, oh, it makes my heart so happy. So don't hesitate to reach out to me if you found value from any of this at all whatsoever. I love you guys. Thank you for listening. Happy brain dumping.